I have sad news for you. I just finished peanut butter curry soup by Pick Up Limes here on YouTube. She has a website and she has a lot of really great recipes on there. And this is the third time I've now made this soup and it's phenomenal. And I will leave the recipe in the description box below because you need it. The reason I'm talking about this soup is, well, shoot, hold on, before I get to that. So I started an Instagram for Nidra. I was kind of really hesitant about doing that because I don't use Twitter. I haven't used the Nidra Twitter in since 2013 or something. I think I'm sort of having a rebirth or a re something. Do I have food all over my face? No. Okay. A reconvergence, a re-something, I don't know what the word is, of LA Nidra. Really the live streams have kind of kicked it off for me, I think. And I kind of want to spend more time doing this. So thank you for all of the encouragement, Sandy, Rob, Richard, Axel, and those of you who are a little quieter out there, for kind of pushing me and responding and asking me to come back. So I wanted to talk a little bit about a habit I've adopted over the last 3 or 4 months or so. I have started doing a sitting meditation. And I tried doing this I don't know, 2 years ago. The deal was you had to sit for an hour in the morning and then an hour in the evening. And I lasted for about 2.5 months. I don't think that was a long enough time to really see any kind of huge benefit or accumulation of the benefits. And so I think I felt more responsive rather than reactive, if I remember back. But I have just over the last few months picked it up again, but realizing that putting constructs on it like that doesn't work for me, because it feels like a chore or something that I have to do rather than something that I would like to do. And that's super important to keep motivation going. So I sort of framed it like, I want to start a meditation practice. Maybe if I get to it, it'll be like 3 times a week, half an hour sit. So I started there, and some weeks it was 3 times a week, some weeks it was 2, some weeks it was 4. And it sort of has fluctuated, and now it's sort of become a habit, like brushing my teeth, and I do it every morning, because I tend to wake up at between 5 and 7 in the morning, and I lay there and I'm like, why don't I just sit and do a meditation? And now I'm starting to see the benefits of what a sitting meditation can do, and it's really exciting. It's not necessarily easy. I think you have to get yourself to a certain equilibrium before you can even get there. Because when I first started trying to meditate, maybe 20 years ago, sitting for 5 minutes, 10 minutes was just excruciating. Now I love it. The longest I've gone is an hour and a half. But I think especially if you use Yoga Nidra as sort of like a buffer or a way in, if it's a practice that you want to incorporate into your life, they're very different. I think that's a good way in. However, so the benefits, right? So it's making me more sensitive. It's making me more in tune with myself. Like, for instance, my peanut butter curry soup, was a response to an internal nudging of wanting to feel nourished. And what I've noticed over the past few months is my caffeine tolerance has plummeted. I was sort of already low on sugar, low on salt, a little bit goes a long way for me with those things, but the caffeine I hadn't really kicked. I wasn't trying to kick it, actually. But what I've discovered is that the more I sit, the more in tune I am getting with my internal sort of nudges and psyche and feelings. I'm noticing the low-grade anxiety that I've been used to. That's been there. And the caffeine elevates the anxiety. That low grade, like, it's not, I'm not doing enough, or I've got to do this thing, or I'm not good enough, or it comes in cycles of like not feeling good enough, or not feeling like I have enough time, just like the nervous system is just amped, and caffeine does that. And so I'm realizing, even with decaf tea, which is sad. And I mean decaf. I don't mean decaf, like uncaffeinated infusions. I mean actual tea. It's not working. I got decaf green tea, decaf black tea. None of it's working. There's still way too much caffeine in them for me. So I'm sad because I'm such a tea drinker. What I'm saying is like, when you start cutting out the stimulants, then your body has time, and your nervous system has time to ground itself. And you can actually feed yourself with like really great stuff. This morning I posted on Instagram a recipe for what is it? The title: maca tahini turmeric golden latte. Oh, maple turmeric golden latte, I think is what the title was. And so that is sort of another nourishing, warm beverage that you can have instead of a tea or a coffee if you're looking for a substitute that feels really grounding, because it has all those things that I just listed that are in the title. And here's a quick secret: I do add cacao to it too. Cacao powder. Cocoa powder, you can do that if you want. Cacao is a healthier version of cocoa powder. So sort of finding those nourishing, grounding, stabilizing things has helped me get more in tune with myself, get more in tune with my intuition, what I need, where I need to go, where I need to put my attention and my energy and focus. And here we are. And it's been necessary this year with the craziness of like COVID, of the sort of racism and protests that have been going on, and the fires, the flood, like everything is just kind of, the world is chaos right now. And I'm good, I'm solid. Snick died, Ludo died, my relationship just ended, and I find myself in the most flow state that I have ever been in my life. And it feels absolutely amazing. Now, you're probably wondering, like, what's the difference between this and Yoga Nidra? Well, good question. So I think the big difference is yes, they kind of have similar attributes. Like, you get more sensitive with Yoga Nidra, you get relaxed and in the flow with Yoga Nidra, more focus with Yoga Nidra. Those are all the same, but I think sort of the way to get there is different. And I think Yoga Nidra is an easier sort of like way in, because one, you're reprogramming your subconscious. You're setting an intention with Yoga Nidra, so which you're not really doing with meditation. You have a guide with Yoga Nidra, so there's something to sort of focus on and what's the word? And sort of tether to. Maybe that's a good word. So they are similar in certain ways. I haven't looked into the science behind both of them to know exactly, in Yoga Nidra you're like accessing theta waves. I believe in meditation you are too, but there might be a difference in that area too, which, like I said, I haven't looked up. But I think having an anchor point, having something to focus on when you're doing Yoga Nidra, and being intentional about the experience and about accessing your subconscious is a different practice. But they can go hand in hand for sure. So that's what I wanted to say, is about sort of finding the stability and the nourishment within your system, especially if you're not feeling super grounded or you're anxious or you're upset a lot or you're just kind of confused or frazzled or out of tune, make sure you're eating well. Try and cut the caffeine, try and meditate. I know all of these things, like these healthy things you should try to do, are like a pain in the ass. You're like, I can't. Anyway, there's my 2 cents about like yoga nidra, meditation, the benefits of both, and also like the bigger picture things that I'm starting to see just from doing the habit. I hope you're having a great day. And I know I just talked your ear off a bunch, but I'll see you later.